Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's review. I will be reviewing the new documentary series on A&E entitled Inmate to Roommate. This show debuted about 3 weeks ago. Tonight is actually episode 3. I believe it shows at 9 o'clock. Not 1,000%. Don't quote me on that. But I've been hearing about the show for the past few weeks, and for the viewers who enjoy Life After Lockup and Love After Lockup, this piqued my interest because I'm like, okay, let me see how things are this way because this show is about newly released inmates returning to society. So there are people that take them in and house them, to kind of readjust them to the world again. Um, so it's interesting. So I'll just get right into it. I'm not going to hold you. So we have a couple by the name of Mark and Sharna. And I have my notes here because this is a new show and I wanted to have as much detail as possible to provide to you. And, once we get the details out the way, then we could just flow from there. So, starting off, we have Mark and Sharna from Indiana. They are a married couple. They've been married for 7 years, and they met on a Christian dating site. So, what happens is that they had some marital issues, and during this time that they were having these issues, Sharna started to write inmates through a pen pal website. Through this time, or through the writings, one of the people that she, communicates with is Bill. Now, Bill is 57 and he's been in prison for 18 years um, for grand theft auto, cocaine possession, and escape. So he's in prison in the VA, and again, they're in Indiana. Um, so they're just pretty much preparing the house for his release. And you see Mark, the husband, like creating, like on his computer, working diligently, creating a list for Bill, a list of rules. So that was interesting. Now, they have a scene where the couple they're at their at the church, and they're chit chatting with their friend Alicia, who was a former inmate herself, and she's very wary about them taking in Bill, and she keeps asking them, "Are they sure?" And they keep reassuring her, "Yeah, we're cool." And she's like, "I don't know about this, but hey, whatever." So that's that with that couple. Um, they show Sharna on the phone with Bill, and they go over some of the rules while on the phone with him. Um, Mark was in the background listening, and he also, put his little 2 cents in on the speakerphone conversation. Um, they were also discussing, you know, Sharna getting ready to pick him up from the prison. So I believe it's a 10-hour drive. So we see her driving and singing and just keeping herself entertained while taking the long journey to meet Bill in prison. So the next story we have is Dr. Henry from Michigan. Dr. Henry is an interesting character. He is a, a a mental health provider. Um, he goes into describing how he was married before He was married for 7 years. They had two kids, but he's now divorced. He's a little kooky, a little interesting. We see him playing on the little, I'm not sure if it was a ukulele or if it was a guitar, but it had a lot of broken strings. He's there entertaining himself, talking to dolls, saying some really interesting things that I don't know, kind of questionable to say out loud, but okay. um, we see that he's a hoarder, which is very, yeah, weird looking, and the fact that you're about to take someone in and your place looks like that is very mm, unsettling. So the person that he's going to take into his house is DQ. Um, his name is Darquavion. I think that's how you pronounce it, but he goes by DQ. So DQ actually used to be a patient of Dr. Henry years back, I think prior to him going into prison. So DQ he's 25 and he served almost 8 years for home invasion and larceny. Um, so we also see them have a phone conversation about, hey, are you excited to be, out of there soon? What are you planning to do? And DQ is like, listen, I'm trying to get, the ladies and money. Like, that's what his focus is. Ladies and money. Typical young man. I mean, it's like not surprising, you know, and being in jail that long, that's not, like I said, that's not a surprising answer for him to give. And so Dr. Henry is like a bit concerned that he said that, like, you don't need to be focusing on that, but hey, they'll work it out and see how that goes. So we see Dr. Henry getting ready to meet up with DQ's brothers so they could head to the prison. At the prison or outside, you see his brothers, his uncle, his friend. They're all out there waiting, and DQ comes out and greets everyone, and they're just happy to see him. Uh, so they're just catching up as much as they can. You see DQ switching out of the clothes that he had into the fresh drip. You know what I'm saying? So he was hooked up in his outfit. Okay. So the next story we have is Bob from Virginia. Now Bob is a older gentleman who's been having some health issues off and on for a while now, and we see him with his son Michael, who visits him every other week and helps him out around the house and stuff like that. So they're out there discussing how everything is going with Bob, and they're also discussing the fact that Bob is about to take in Aaron, um, who is the son of one of Bob's nurses. The nurse had mentioned to Bob that her son Aaron will be paroled pretty soon, and you know, Bob took it upon himself to say, "Hey, I'll take him in." So Aaron is 41 years old, and he was in jail for 5 years for racketeering, identity theft, and forging a credit card. Hmm. So we see Bob has been contacting or trying to contact both Aaron and the nurse, Aaron's mother, and no one's answering the phone. Like he's been calling several times, leaving messages, and no one is returning his call or picking up the phone. So that's becoming really concerning to both Bob and Michael because Bob was like, listen, I've kind of been there, done that. I have a bit of a past, and no one was really there for me. So I want to be there for someone, like give back to society and things like that. And he's trying his best to help out, but it doesn't seem like they want the help or they're playing games or we don't know what's going on as yet because this is still the first episode. So we'll see what happens there. So the last story we get into for this debut episode of the show is Artie, who lives in Cleveland, Ohio, and she's 51. She's single. She has three children. She stated that she's never been married before. She has health issues also. She's had a couple of surgeries due to the health issues having to do with her spine, and she's had a hip replacement, and she actually has another hip replacement scheduled for December. And she has a friend, a really good friend, who's currently and she's 51. She has a really good friend who's currently in prison, and that particular friend introduced her to another inmate by the name of Javon, who will be paroled pretty soon. Javon is 41 years old, and he's been in and out of prison like over the years. And this current stint was for 3 years, and it's always been having to do with drugs. So this particular stint was for drug trafficking. So we see Artie prepping the house, prepping the room for Javon to stay. We also see her on the phone with Javon, like, hey, are you hyped to come out? And he's just like, yeah, and she's just like, are you ready for a nice warm meal and seeing your family and friends? And he's just like, yeah, all that. I'm ready for this to be over. So the following day, we see her getting ready and she's setting to, um, actually, no, I'm going into the next episode. I just want to break it up in episodes, but that was pretty much the gist. So yeah, we see, Artie, like I said, just like prepping and things like that. So, we see the previews for the season. It looks like it's going to be very interesting. Um, there are some more stories that will be added into the series. From what I saw, it seems like there might be two more, two or three more. I'm thinking it's only two though, in addition to the, let's see, one, two, three, four. Yeah, that I mentioned. But we'll see how this goes. Definitely worth checking out because just out of curiosity, I'm like, okay, these the roommates, they are doing a great deed by bringing in these former inmates. I just wonder why them. Like you do hear in some of the stories, the family has had enough of their family member, and they're not willing to take them in for whatever reason. I'm hoping that we'll find out these reasons as the show progresses, but definitely a show worth checking out if y'all are interested. So hopefully you'll stay tuned for my next video and my upcoming videos about this show. And if you liked today's video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to. I will be, you know, reviewing other shows as I attempt to grow my channel and add contact. All right, thank you. See you soon. Bye.